On May 30th of this year, 32-year-old Army veteran Travis Decker picked up his daughters, 9-year-old Peyton, 8-year-old Evelyn, and 5-year-old Olivia, for what was supposed to be a weekend visit. To outsiders, it looked like a normal custody arrangement. But when the agreed drop-off time passed and the girls didn't come home, their mother's worst nightmare began. 2 days later, on June 2nd, police found Decker's abandoned truck near Rock Island Campground. Nearby were the bodies of the 3 little girls, their hands zip-tied and their heads covered with plastic bags. Investigators quickly suspected suffocation as the cause of death. The Chelan County Prosecutor's Office swiftly filed charges of kidnapping and murder against Decker. Local police, the FBI, and federal agencies launched a massive search operation. Dozens of officers and volunteers scoured the rugged terrain with search dogs, drones, and helicopters equipped with thermal cameras. Campers and locals were interviewed, shown Decker's photo, and asked if they had seen a lone man in military-style clothing. Court records reveal a bitter custody battle between Travis and his ex-wife, Whitney, which had dragged on for over a year. According to Whitney, Decker had once been a caring father, but after the divorce, he became increasingly withdrawn and unpredictable. A court order required him to attend anger management classes and limited his visits to once every 2 weeks under supervision. But due to failures in the child welfare system, Decker was still allowed unsupervised weekend visits, an oversight that proved fatal. Decker was a decorated veteran who had served in active combat zones, where fellow soldiers described him as brave but deeply scarred. After the divorce, he became homeless, living out of his truck, battling depression, suicidal thoughts, and violent mood swings. His ex-wife had informed Child Services of his diagnosis of borderline personality disorder, but the VA's mental health support system failed to respond promptly. His pleas for psychiatric help were lost in bureaucratic red tape. Chelan County Sheriff John Urquhart called the search for Decker the largest operation in the region in decades. "We're running on adrenaline and coffee because people's lives are at stake," he told reporters at a press conference. Over 100 personnel from multiple states joined the effort, while federal helicopters and infrared-equipped planes continuously scanned the mountainous landscape. Investigators discovered Decker had searched online for routes into Canada and survival tactics in the wilderness before disappearing. Border Patrol and state police increased security on highways leading north from Wenatchee, suspecting he might try to flee. Experts warned that with his military training, Decker could hide in the forest for weeks, relying on survival skills and natural shelters. Soon after news of the girls' deaths broke, residents of Wenatchee began bringing flowers, toys, blankets, and photos of the 3 sisters to City Hall and Memorial Park. People lined up to light candles and offer condolences to Whitney Decker. Messages of support poured in from across Washington and the entire country, with hundreds of letters and packages arriving daily. Investigators explored several theories. Decker might have stolen a car to reach Canada or stayed hidden along the Pacific Crest Trail, one of the most challenging hiking routes in the U.S., stretching over 2,600 miles. Authorities closed the Enchanted Mountains area to hikers to focus the search effort. Many Wenatchee residents became too afraid to let their children play outside. Local schools discussed extra security measures, and neighborhood chats buzzed with warnings and recent sightings of unfamiliar vehicles. Dean Summers, the campground caretaker where Decker's truck was found, told reporters, "I've never seen people here so scared for their lives. We're used to peace and friendly tourists, but now every stranger feels like a threat." After finding the truck and the girls' bodies, police recovered zip ties and plastic bags, clear signs of a planned murder. However, because the court had not officially terminated Decker's custody rights, police initially did not treat the situation as a kidnapping, delaying the issuance of an Amber Alert, a decision now facing widespread criticism. The tragedy reignited debate about the failures of the veteran support system and child welfare services. Psychologists, attorneys, and advocacy groups argued that if Decker's requests for psychiatric care had been handled properly, the tragedy could have been avoided. Whitney Decker insists the child protection and alert systems move too slowly to recognize the danger. Military experts highlighted the rule of threes in survival training: 3 hours without shelter, 3 days without water, and 3 weeks without food. But even with advanced training, prolonged isolation in the wilderness can become unbearable due to psychological stress and overwhelming guilt. Memorial services were held in Wenatchee, with nearly 300 people gathering to say their goodbyes to the girls. The local school district offered counseling services for students, teachers, and parents. Residents hope the tragedy will finally lead to reforms in custody laws and the way the VA responds to veterans in crisis. A crowdfunding campaign for Whitney Decker surpassed $1 million in just a few days, with tens of thousands of people worldwide donating and sending messages of support to help her begin the long journey toward healing after an unimaginable loss. Was the murder planned, or did Decker snap? Why did police delay an Amber Alert? Could he be getting help from someone? Would faster mental health care have saved the girls? This tragedy exposed failures in the veteran support system and child protection services. Locals hope change will come, so nothing like this happens again.